Hello Tarot fans and welcome to another edition of Blue Sicx Tarot. I'm your fantastic host Blue Sicx. Thank you very much for watching. Now we're hitting another point in lockdown in the UK. There's a lot of political stuff going on in the US and we just need some time to just sit back, relax and go, you know what, let's just do stuff with oracle cards. Well, video stuff with oracle cards. So this month I will be covering a lot of oracle cards because I don't tend to do them that often, hence the name of Blue Sicx Tarot. And the one we'll be covering is by Le Scarabeo. I know, shock. Now I don't do this intentionally. I literally just go, that looks nice. Oh, it's Le Scarabeo. I'll buy it anyway. But Le Scarabeo, if you are watching, please sponsor me, it'd be really cool. I'm a really big fan and I just love all your cards and I just want to own all the cards. And if you was to give me some sponsorship, I'd give you birthday presents and like write your cards and letters and give you stuff for Valentine's Day. Wouldn't that be lovely? It'd be really sweet of you if you could just do that for me. It'd mean so much to me. I really would appreciate it. I mean, it'd be appreciated, I'm just saying. But anyway, without further ado, roll on that intro. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the Dream Interpretation Oracle cards. Now, I don't tend to do dream work. I tend to leave that for people at Pixar. But with stuff like this, there's still kind of an interesting kind of element to decks like this. Now, I've still got the foil on this. But first off, the artwork on the cover looks pretty good. As I said, it's by Le Scarabeo. And so take a quick look on the back where we have the love, art, mountain and wealth there. And so it's a deck of 36 cards. One thing I do find about with the Scarabeo though is that sometimes the oracle decks can be really small. There's another oracle deck I have of theirs, which I'll probably do another video on soon. And the deck is is a lot smaller, and so I do sometimes question where it is kind of like the value for money, where it's still about, so this was about 15, hold on, I've still got the price on it, it's about £17 and with about 36 cards, but sometimes you can get decks that are about £15 and maybe 15, maybe 20 cards. So sometimes it depends on if you're happy to spend that amount of money on that amount of cards. But it's always very, it depends on the type of deck you have. So I've already done a little split here, so we don't have to worry about me having to get the knife out again. Get the knife out again, that sounds bloody lethal. But yeah, so one thing I do like about the packaging on this, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up here, but you've got the bits of the bits of the words kind of scraped off a bit, which I always think looks quite nice. So it does have like a kind of steampunk sort of look to it. And then once again, as it's all about dreams, there you go. So as I said, I've got a few Le Scarabeo oracle decks, and they all seem to be structured in the same way. So we have this nice little pull string, which is always handy. So the back of that looks really nice as well. I do quite like the look of that. I looked ahead too soon, so I'll just take these out of the way. So got a nice little space bit here, and let's have a quick flick through. I'm not going to read through the book because one, I probably won't be able to, and two, it's not going to be a very fun video if you just hit. This isn't an audio book basically, but you still have your several languages, so which is always useful. Nice. So it's being childish now. Right, so you've got your description of the cards, subject dreams, dream cards, use of the cards. So you've got a nice little description on how the cards are actually to be used. Okay, so you have a structure, but not necessarily a spread. I'm all about those spreads, especially on nice warm toast. So there's not a lot here outside of this. This is just more just there's a lot of description. Yeah. So you just have the standard meanings of the cards as well. But I'm just checking. There's no actual written spreads, or at least no illustrated spreads, which kind of bugs me. But obviously, the instructions might have something a bit more standard, or maybe it's a case of here was what you picked the card, what was in your dream, and then you find out what that part meant. But as I said, I'm not really. I'm here about the cards. I always like the cards, so. I'll take a quick look. I've got to get the knife out for this one. Always got to be very careful when you do stuff like this. Don't try this at home, kids. I mean, you can try the tarot bit, but just not with the knives. I know, it's riveting. Right. Oh, it's gone out of focus now. Come on. There we are. Okay, so it's like, okay. First off, oh come on, focus in. There you go. Okay, so first off, the cards look nice. The cards feel a little thinner than I'm used to, just a little. So I think so for Oracle cards, these are a little thinner than your standard. Because if you're like used to some cards by Doreen Virtue, please don't at me or leave any comments about the fact I mentioned Doreen Virtue. But those cards tend to be a bit thicker. So this is about standard tarot thickness. So if you're used to thickness of the standard Lascaux Bay, that's fine. For an Oracle deck, these are a little thinner than I'm used to. But at the same time, look at that, they spread really well, and no innuendos there. So. And take a look. So we have the cards of the Youth. So that has the Fool sort of vibe to them, but it looks quite nice. So we've got the Youth, the Root. Now that looks really cool, kind of similar to the Spirit, Ghost Spirit Tarot. Which is also no, that was US Toys and Games. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting with the kind of the bit there, and now I've only literally just noticed the face here, so that one does look quite nice. And you have Love, which is cool. So you've got like a nice little. It kind of feels like very Dr. Zeus type. So like with the stripes there and the stuff and the Rapunzel-like hair with the flowers in them and stuff, and the floating ground, and a horse of some description. This kind of, oh, you guys got me. I'm not looking. Yeah, so got Love. Then you've got Fighting, and that looks like a bow and arrow. Yeah, so you've got like a bit of the bow there, and so he's okay. That looks less like a combat and more like a task. So it looks like he's trying to aim the arrow for the hoop. And with really cool pointed jeans with the little arrows there. So then we have Art, which I think is pretty cool. I also like the fact that everything else is kind of standard and it's just that part there. Reminds me from that scene from 1408. Good horror film, give it a watch. So then we've got Travel. That reminds me, I think it was not Big Fish. Reminds me of a scene from Big Fish. Now the question is that I think that's supposed to be I think that's not supposed to be the wheels, but it's in the position to look like the wheels. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. I like that one. And they're kind of long hair. I like a lot of these exaggerated features. It's that thing of we're told the artwork's a dream, so therefore it makes more sense. But if it wasn't a dream, you wouldn't really notice. You just kind of notice it's more fantasy. So then we've got Obedience. Okay, so I might struggle with some of these words. So kind of like the big. So it looks like a parent guiding their child to say what to do with their life. Children, as opposed to youth. Okay, that makes sense. You've got children and adolescents, so I like the Rubik's Cube stuff there, and So that feels more like something about playtime and enjoying your your space, really. Then we've got food. That's an interesting take. Kind of Alice in Wonderland sort of feel to it. With this, I really like this. I really enjoy this, and their chef hats looking like chimney stacks as well. That's really good. Blessing. Okay, that has a kind of, that. I don't know. I mean, it has that kind of 80s style, 80s feel to it, where you had the original like Clash of the Titans in like the. I don't think that was 80s. Whenever Clash of the Titans was the first one, not the 2006 one. Has that sort of feel to it. Then we have shoes. Okay, well, if you are into your shoes, these are shoes. Hermes might have a few issues with that. Then we've got dogs. Flying dogs. I hope that's one of those extendable leads, otherwise you're going to be in trouble there. But that's pretty cool. I like that. It makes me smile. I'm surprised cats wasn't the immediately afterwards, but we have house. So this is now making me think more of Lenormand, which I'm trying to get into at the moment. I've got a couple of Lenormand decks. I want to try and get a few more. So if you've got any recommendations, leave a recommendation down in the comments. But yeah, I do like this. It does look quite cool. And also the fact it's kind of built in another area as well, kind of stand out there. Then we've got nature. I like the look of the fact it's supposed to look like a face with a hand raised and hair, eyebrows and stuff. I can't remember the name of it, where you can just see things in other things. There is a proper term for it. I can't remember what it's called. And next we have riding. Once again, this does have that sort of Lenormand take to it. I mean, at the moment, I reckon I could probably take some of these out and just call it a Lenormand deck. There's something that doesn't quite look right with this horse to me. I mean, I think it's probably because it's kind of got the trees behind it as well, and it's kind of, at a glance, very difficult to distinguish what belongs to the tree and what belongs to the horse. But then I'm also very tired today, so. Next we have keys. Once again, very Lenormand. Tell you what, I'm going to... No, actually, no, I can't be Lenormand because that's the same amount of cards. I'm going to stop talking about Lenormand now. So yeah, got keys there. So you can get some dreams where that involve a lot of being trapped indoors and stuff, but that's still quite interesting. Oh, and he's blindfolded. Very interesting. Okay, I quite like that one. You've got money. I like the kind of... I like a lot of that, the kind of looking like a slot machine, and just there's a lot about that I think is pretty good. I like that one. Another one's made as well. You've got sweets. So you basically have like really elongated looking children, looking like that character from DuckTales with the one wheel, whose name I can't remember. I should really stop referencing things I can't remember. Then we have doctors. Yeah, she's supposed to be like a snake person, maybe. I think she's supposed to be a snake person playing a donkey. I don't know. Hey, they're dreams. Dreams are supposed to be weird, but yeah. I also like the old style stethoscope there as well. It's pretty cool. And he's examining her forehead for lumps, chickenpox. I don't know. Checking her height, and this one's, I don't know, checking her diet. I don't know. That looks like a chef's hat to me. I like the fact there's a donkey with a bloody hell, with just a gramophone. See, gramophone. Yeah, that's once again bizarre, but then they're dreams. Bugs. Yeah, this is definitely something you'd need a book on, but the cards themselves still look really cool. And the artwork is really quite nice. I kind of like the halo further down you'd want, but then it looks like a planet there as well. And we've got books. I like the fact they're kind of robotic. with the hologram bit doesn't interest me as much, but I like the fact that they're robotic. That does look pretty cool, in the fact that in the idea of even that books will always need to be in. You'd always need books, says the dyslexic. Then you've got the moon. Okay, so you've got the moon. So you've got Gaia maybe in the background, and two people on stilts, and they look. So these are the guys on the cover, of course. And I do like the background. The moon isn't. I mean, to be fair, for all of what's going on here, the moon is hardly even. There's no real point to even having the moon in this thing, to be fair. But I still think it's quite nice. Wedding. Weddings are always. You know, I don't think I've ever had a wedding video. I don't think I've ever had like a wedding dream before. But then that's probably saying more about me than you guys probably really need to know. But I do like I do like a lot of the blue in that as well, and it's not just pure white. Quite nice. And then we have buying. All I'm going to say is I want all of that outfit. I think that looks amazing, and I can imagine at least 3 other people I know who'd want this outfit. Maybe we have to make some alterations because I don't like showing off my stomach, you see. So. But I do like that. It does look a very interesting kind of bric-a-brac store, sort of. I can't remember that film. Never mind. Moving on. Then we've got the mountain, which I also like because it kind of looks like there's a lot of mushroom look. So I assume that's supposed to be either a tree or a part of the mountain with growth on it, but it just looks like fungus. Then we have music. After all, music makes the people come together. If you guys get that song reference, well done, leave a comment below. So, yeah, I think that does look quite nice as well. Not a lot going on in the picture outside of the fact that she's just holding some form of stringed instrument. Just make a bit of adjustment there. Right, so next we've got sailing. Come sail away with me. See, another song reference. I'm full of them today. That's a very interesting looking boat. I do like how that boat looks. It's very ornate and yes, it's a very bizarre looking boat. Next we have loneliness. So that has a kind of, well, they're in the mountains, left out in the cold, and there is, I don't know, there are like gnomes and stuff there, but there is still that sense of, well, being on your own. Next we have nudity. I'm not quite sure what to say for that one, but well, it's like the Earth, it's like the world card from the other side. It's kind of, okay, now Patricia, we're about to take the shot, now jump, and then someone else has just whipped out their phone, kind of, no, got that one. Kind of like a behind the scenes. Anyway, we've got time, with really large statues. She's tired, she's doing it, and she just looks really impatient. That was quite nice. I think that's pretty cool. Next we have wealth. So I assume that's wealth in regards to what you have rather than just actually having money. But still, I like a lot of the kind of diamonds and crystals they have around there, and the fact that the hair's so long it kind of flows around it. That's pretty cool. Then we have flying. The fact the bed's flying rather than them, I think, is pretty cool. It's not quite a standard. I think wasn't there a thing for kids back in like 10, 15 years ago where Eric and Ernie from Sesame Street would go on like dream adventures. I think it was like claymation or something like that. It was pretty good. It was a good show. It's amazing the stuff you watch when you were unemployed. Oh, okay. This one is. No, I'm not even going to try and reading that. I'm not going to try and read that word, but there it is for you there. As soon as you want to focus in. There you go. So that's that one. That's that word. And Still looks pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I like the perspective of that. Is I like the fact that the perspective of the room is also really, really off. So next we have strangers, which is always, I mean, most people in my dream tend to be strangers, but that's kind of a, once again, it has that feeling of Dr. Seuss about it. I mean, then I guess a lot of people did consider Dr. Seuss to be kind of very dreamlike in some of their stuff. Oh look, you've got a fish that's also a tree. Then we have shouting. Okay, that's kind of freaky, nightmarish, maybe one might go as far as to say. But it looks interesting. If nothing else, definitely stands out. And last we have falling. Okay, this is something H.P. Lovecraft would love. Yeah, this kind of, I like the thing is I wouldn't have considered like the idea of having to fall into something. The mere concept of just falling knowing you're going to land is enough. But the fact they're going to be consumed by a fish as well, that's not great. Yeah, it does look like a very interesting picture there. So that is my dream. That's the review for Dream Interpretations. Personally, I think they're quite nice. Obviously, I'll look into how to actually use them. But yeah, they look really cool. I wouldn't necessarily say they're something for beginners. But if you're someone who does dream interpretation, these might be perfect for you. I don't know a lot about dream interpretation outside of the pop culture standard basics. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.